In this video, I'm going to be talking about the power of our dreams and how to decode them so that we can use them to give us insight into what's truly going on for us emotionally, in any sort of situations that we may be struggling with on a daily basis. Our dreams can give us insight into what's truly going on for us and find solutions to those kind of existing concerns. So if we think about it, our subconscious mind is what we don't really tap into, on a daily basis at all, really. And our dreams are like a gateway to our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind works in the same way as our conscious mind, and our dreams work in the same way as our conscious mind, and that when we wake up in the morning, we often think, okay, who do I need to call? What do I need to do today? And we prioritize in function of the tasks that we need to do often. And our dreams work in the same way, in that overnight, our dreams kind of give us or speak to us in symbols and stories, and give us solutions to existing concerns, things that we've been worrying about or thinking, stewing over during that day or the last few days. And it kind of, as I said, it prioritizes our problems for us. So it is really a truly rich and often untapped potential, and allowing us to gain insight into what's going on for us. And we can, if we start to really understand how to decode our dreams, we can start to use them in a way to really help us to gain insight, to gain solutions to existing concerns. So, and also what you've got to realise is that you will eventually come to some sort of conclusion or come to a solution for your concerns. But if we start to learn to decode our dreams and analyse our dreams, we will find a solution a lot quicker. So let's think about the ways that we can decode our dreams, and there are different ways into our dreams. First of all, we can always ask ourselves, okay, when we wake up in the morning, obviously, how did I feel in that dream? Because often we have a feeling, we wake up with a feeling of sadness or grief or anger or, all sorts of different feelings. And we ask ourselves, okay, well, how did I feel during that dream? What is that feeling that I now have? And then we need to ask ourselves, okay, well, what's happened during yesterday or the day before that made me feel like that? So, for example, if the feeling is fear, then we ask ourselves, okay, what was making me feel fearful yesterday or the day before? What happened to make me feel like that? So that's one way of doing it. But I think we need to realise as well that we're not always connected to how we truly feel. So that might not be a clear way in for some of us. Another way in that we could use is to understand and look or try and remember the plot or the storyline of the dream, and this will kind of give us insight into what we're worrying about, what our concerns are. So for example, this is just an example, you may dream that your husband has cheated on you, and the point of the dream is not that he's actually been cheating on you, but probably more likely is that you feel betrayed in some way by something or someone, and have been feeling like that for the last day or so, and that is the point of the dream. So that's a good way of coming into and starting to decode our dreams, and then obviously start to think, okay, what could have made me feel like that? So these bad dreams or nightmares may not necessarily be a bad thing. In fact, you should see them as a good thing. So it's almost like you wake up with your therapist. If you think about it, you wake up, and especially if you start to decode and understand your dreams, it's going to be a rich source of information for you. And I think a lot of people don't use this tool at all. And like anything, the more you do it, the more you start focusing on them and paying attention to them, the more you're going to remember. Because often we wake up and we just don't remember at all anything. And they reckon that we dream between 4 and 5 times a night. So, there is a lot of potential there. Another way into our dreams is to look at the symbolism of our dreams. So often we kind of have these very seemingly random objects in our dreams that don't really make sense to us until we start to decode them and think about what those symbols actually mean for us. So I'll give you a good example. a dog, say if you dream of a dog, for some people, a dog might mean loyalty, friend for life, trust, loving, etc. But for others, that dog might mean something that's fierce, angry, aggressive, biting, barking. So, you know, if you look at the symbology, you think about that symbol, something that comes into your head from that dream that you remember, and then immediately afterwards think, well, what does that represent for me? You know, what does that dog represent to me? And it will often be aspects that you need to probably bring more into your personality, or have less of in your personality at the minute. That's what the dream's trying to tell you. Okay, so that's something that can be quite significant for a lot of people. And this is why, I mean, I did used to use a dream book, like you can get these little dictionaries of the symbols of dreams, but the more I kind of started to do this research into dream analysis, I realised that these books are probably not always... how can I put it? They probably don't cover everything for everyone, because of this example I've given of the dog. They may only have one interpretation of the dog, which might not suit you or might not be what's really going on for you. So they can sometimes lead to a little bit of confusion. So I wouldn't wholly rely on those kind of dream books, those dream dictionaries, because as I said, it's more about how you interpret the symbols in your dreams. So I also wanted to talk about repetitive dreams, especially for children. You know, a lot of us as children and as parents have children that have these repetitive dreams. I know my son, for example, went through, you know, quite a few nights at one point, this is a few years ago, of dreaming about, he could see things in his bed, like insects, he could actually see them, but it kept going on, and it would wake him up, and you know, it was a real problem for him. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you can handle that to really help them, especially if they're having those sort of dreams where they see monsters, you know, people chasing them, and as I said, it can be a repetitive dream that keeps going on. And obviously they're doing a lot of kind of processing and fear releasing, but I think it becomes very real for them sometimes. And I think it's a good way to, if they do wake up and they're still very much within that kind of held within that nightmare feel, then you can talk to them as though the dream is still going on. So you can say something, oh, like, you know, what did you dream about the monster again, you know, and what happened, or what's happening? You know, and look, I'm with you now, I'm with you in this dream, and we're going to build a big wall together so that the monster won't be able to get over it, and he won't be able to hurt you. And you know, you can use that, in fact you're using their very active imagination, because children often have very active imaginations, and you use that imagination to kind of change the dream for them while they're just kind of slowly waking up. So that's a really good way of helping them through these sort of nightmare times that they can often have, you know, and it's like, I suppose, like a creative problem solving for them. Another way, which is something I do quite a lot, is when I go to bed, you know, I can sort of get drawn to asking for guidance. I ask a question. If there's something that I'm particularly struggling with, or have been struggling with that day, then I ask the question just before I go to sleep, you know, I'd like to get clarity. Can I get clarity over what was happening today? You know, why was this happening to me? You know, and also ask the dream to come in images that you'll understand. So I did that actually the other night, and I just got one single image, and I asked myself, okay, what does that image mean to me? And it was actually of a landlady, a very kind of Bette Midler kind of pub landlady, or you know, someone that has a house that she rents out. And it was a very strong woman who was very self-assured and knew her own mind. And I knew that I was not able to do that at the moment, to be self-assured. It was kind of going through a bit of a, you know, I was a bit off-centre and a bit unbalanced, and I felt that dream was telling me that I needed to bring more aspects of that stronger woman, that kind of matriarchal woman into my life at that moment. That's what I needed to do. And as soon as you ask that question, that feel will come to you, that interpretation, you know that's the right one for you. So as I said, you know, dreams have this kind of huge and often unlocked potential. You know, can give you a lot of guidance as to what's going on for you. So if you feel drawn, definitely start to, you know, tap into your dreams and pay attention to them, focus on them, look at the symbology, look at the feelings that you got when you woke up, look at the storyline, the plot line, or just ask yourself a question to get clarity on it before you go to sleep that night. I bought myself a lovely sort of dream journal, which is just like a blank notebook, but it had a lovely cover on it, and I had that at one point I had that by my bedside on my bedside table, and when I woke up I'd just quickly write down a few of the symbols of my dreams, because I think I felt that the more you do it, the more you'll remember it and more will come through for you. Because remember, we're dreaming about 4 to 5 times a night, so there's a lot there that a lot there to interpret and analyze for you.